Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Paolo Taranzi. As much as I did, I thought it was really interesting. Like one of the categories or one of the industries that I just don't know enough about is perfumes and scents and things like that. And I just thought his perspective on it was really, really good. I loved how he connected it with the region, and then also his approach and how people should approach perfumes, and a little bit more insight into family businesses in Italy, and the new range that they've got, which Sea Stars, which is all about nautical. Quite a cool interview. Really liked it. Interesting guy. Uh, this that was episode I think 96 of the Bioworks Business Podcast. We're just going to tag on another important interview that we had a couple of weeks ago with Amedeo Scarpa, the trade commissioner from Italy to the UAE, and with the food industry. So I'm just looking at my notes. He actually spoke to us when the Italian cuisine in the world. It's an event, and it came to Dubai. The fifth edition came to Dubai, running from the 30th of November until the 12th. So he talked to us all about how the Italian trade ministry works with companies in the UAE, helps imports and exports of famous Italian brands into both the commercial and into the kind of retail stores in Dubai. So decided to kind of put these two together. And when you're listening to Armadeo, you might get a bit of an understanding of how someone like Paolo Terenzi would work from Italy into this region in terms of imports, exports, and the support in the ecosystem here. So in a way, the Italian special or the Italian job this morning, but this is a kind of a double episode of Dubai Works. Enjoy the interview with Armadeo. Good morning. So today I'm joined with Amedeo Scarpa. He is the Italian Trade Commissioner to the UAE. And on the show, we're going to be talking about a new initiative that they've launched for the fifth edition and called Italian Cuisine in the world. But we'll also talk about Italian foods and how popular it is in the UAE, and then the role of a Trade Commissioner.
So it looks to be testy, Richard. It looks to be a testy interview. I mean, it's about cuisine, Italian cuisine. So,
yeah.
Ciao, Richard. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao. Good morning. Good morning. So yeah, thanks for joining. So can you tell us about the Italian cuisine in the world?
Thank you. Yes, I was saying it's going to be tasty, but it's going to be healthy also, and something cultural because the food for Italians is really something really, really important, something that is linked to our culture, to our roots. It is quite an anthropological asset of Mediterranean people, and especially for Italians. Not because I'm Italian, but wherever you go in the world, whatever the city you choose, for sure you will find at least a pizzeria. Or an Italian restaurant. If you go in South America, or if you go in Korea or Japan or in Europe, of course, or in this area of the world also. I live in Dubai since 1 year, and I lived in the GCC, in Riyadh, in Kuwait, and for sure you will find Italian restaurant. So this means that it's not just a question of promoting food in itself and trade, because sooner or later, if you don't have a really strong attachment with this value, sooner or later we'll become weak. I mean, it's not just a question of trade, of selling more ingredients for Italian food, but it's something that we like because our grandmother showed us how important it is, for example, to prepare in a certain way by respecting the ingredients and the real ingredients, that specific plate of the Italian cuisine. So through these initiatives, which is led by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and all the embassies all over the world and the General Consulate of Italy all over the world, together with the Italian Trade Agency, we want to spread really this genuine roots of the Italian cuisine. And as a matter of fact, the let's say filo conduttore, we say in Italian, if you prefer French, the fil rouge, which means the main claim around which this year in 2020 we are talking about Italian cuisine, is Pellegrino Artusi. if you say Pellegrino Artusi, who is this? It's an influencer or what? Yes, it is. It was the first influencer about Italian food and beverage in the second part of the 19th century. So Italy was just, let's say, just a nation, just born as a nation, and it started to go inside the different regional cuisines of Italy, and he found some common roots. You know, so for the first time, he wrote like a legenda of what is it exactly an Italian cuisine, a real typical Italian cuisine. So we gave this receipt, talking about UAE, also to some chefs in one of the most important Italian restaurants in Dubai, and we say, okay, this is the must of Pellegrino Artusi, the second half of the 19th. So now it's with you. Reinvent, so innovation, but respect also the tradition. So innovation and tradition are the two pillars, along with the chefs all over the world are trying to reinvent the roots of Italian cuisine of Pellegrino Artusi.
Amazing. So just out of curiosity, 150 years ago, did they have pasta and pizza on the menu then?
What do you think? I want to be the interviewer, so you reply, please, Richard.
I think maybe the agricultural revolution, I think we did have grain and things then. So yes, I would say that there was
Bravo,
forms
bravo, yes. Yeah. Of course. Then, of course, during the decades, each new chef or new grandmother puts something of its passion, of his heart, of her heart in a new kind of pizza. But the tradition is there, and the really genuine ingredients are very important. I want to underline this, apart from joke, because you know the Italian food and the Italian cuisine is strictly linked with the concept of healthy. So tasty, okay, but also healthy. You know that the so-called Mediterranean diet, which is not something that you have to become, I mean, to lose weight. It's not for losing weight. Diet in a sense of regime, in a sense of rules when you eat something. It is I said in Italian, patrimonio comune dell'umanità, which means a UNESCO heritage, the Mediterranean diet, because it's made by extra virgin olive oil, by tomatoes of that specific Mediterranean area, wet farina grain from that area. So we know additive, free from, and so on. So it's important to eat tasty. It's important to eat with some innovative taste of touch of the new chef, but it's very important to eat healthy, respecting your body and respecting what you serve for you and for your guests.
Yeah, I think it's interesting in Dubai because it's such a diverse and the UAE is such a diverse city with many cultures and many nationalities. Obviously, Italian cuisine is pretty identifiable, amongst them all. This initiative that you've launched and you've chosen 6 partners, you might let us know what the restaurants are, but just going back to something you said earlier, when you move to Dubai and when you go to a city around the world, do Italians seek out Italian restaurants? Is that where you go first, like maybe Irish people to pubs, or do you go to Italian restaurants everywhere you go?
Allora, I must be sincere, right? I must be sincere. Okay, I'll tell you. No, when I go in a new country, of course, I like to taste the local cuisine. But as everybody of us, sooner or later, I go through the Italian restaurants to check if the pizza there, or the pasta, or the gnocchi, or the spaghetti are very well done by respecting, I repeat, the ingredients. The ingredients are very, very important. So this is the reason why we have chosen a technical partner. Of course, I can eat, I can taste, I can say, yeah, it's good, but really I'm not a professional. So we have chosen the Italian Academy of Cuisine, Accademia Italiana della Cucina, and Accademia Italiana della Cucina, the Dubai section, have chosen 6 restaurants to make this experiment, this testing. And so the 6 restaurants in Dubai are Vanitas in Palazzo Versace, and then we have in Grand Millennium Business Bay, Bella, And then Luigia, I should say, is a master for pizza. Luigia in Rixos Hotel in JVR. In Grosvenor House, we have Bella Vista. In Royal Meridian, we have La Strega, and finally the Artisan in Waldorf Astoria. So with their chefs, they are proposing the recipe of Artusi, and they are proposing to their guests. Let me tell you that we started not by chance at the end of November. Okay, first of all, because of course this is the 5th edition, as you say, of the Italian Cuisine Week all over the world. But we wanted to take the end of November, the beginning of December, because of course December 2nd is the National Day for the UAE. And we want that more and more local people will discover the traditional Italian cuisine in these restaurants with the Italian Trade Agency. And so we would like to celebrate the UAE National Day, 49th National Day, with some more Italian cuisine. And last but not least, consider that in few weeks we will have Christmas, which is really the celebration of family, of tradition, and course of food. So ready for the gym, but soon after Christmas, not before. During Christmas, go with Italian cuisine, per favore, please.
Amazing. So what are you actually doing? Is there a special menu that they've created, or is there a tasting, or is there an event that you're having, and is it virtual?
Yeah, there are so many different menu that they are proposing. I would like to share with you, and consider that anyway the main let's say claim also of this campaign is really linked with the participation of Italy at next edition, at next World Expo in Dubai, where Italy is going to participate under the claim beauty connects people. Okay, food is an expression of beauty. So in this case, we should say that food connects people. And by answering to your question, I mean, and curiosity, think about, for example, carciofi with gorgonzola and pasta matta, which is braised artichoke, picked topinambur gorgonzola sauce. I mean, for me, it's difficult in English, but I'm trying to. And what about mini crocchette di patate, or the beef with piselli and potatoes, as well as, for example, in Palazzo Versace, you will find the so-called tajarin al tartufo bianco, which is the authentic pasta from Piedmont, so northwest of Italy, sorry, Piedmont pasta with Alba. Alba is a city in Piedmont, very famous for truffle, quindi with Alba white truffle, yeah, and butter sauce. This will be in, for example, Palazzo Versace, and so on and so on. Don't forget the dessert, per esempio, like bomboloni with crema pasticcera. You taste it first, and then you make the translation in English if you are able after that.
Amazing, Amedeo. Yeah, so I actually, over the years, gone to lots of restaurants with Love in Dubai and reviews and things. I was fortunate enough to eat in all the places that you've spoken about and speak to the chefs. And what always came through was the ingredients, and you touched on it there, where they're chosen from and where they come from. I remember one time in Atlantis, yeah, Giorgio Locatelli, he was showing me around the kitchen, and he took out this big truffle that he brought in his bag, big white truffle. So he was so proud of where it came from. And I think that's so going back to what you mentioned about the ingredients, where they're from in Italy, but also in Dubai. And is that part of your role to kind of create these kind of trade corridors and to allow for this produce to kind of be available both in restaurants and also for consumers in Dubai?
Yeah, for sure, this of the restaurants and so-called Horeca channel is one of the most important channels for promoting Italian gourmet and Italian food and beverage trade, which is my job, of course. Let me tell you about your experience in the cuisine and so on. I want to use your channel, please, your channel, please, to invite everybody to follow in the social media on Instagram or on Twitter at ITA Dubai. ITA is Italian Trade Agency Dubai. So ITA Dubai or ITA Dubai, because every day we are posting with influencers, also with local influencers. We are going there inside the cuisine. We are interviewing the chef. We are showing how to make the recipe, which are the ingredients they are using, and 99% of the cases, they will show you that are ingredients coming straight from Italy. So going back to my job, of course, we are promoting this kind of items because I mean, we think that still there are huge margin for growing in the UAE. Consider that the UAE imports almost 90+% of its needs in terms of food. You know, they are very, very, very careful about food security, for example. Yes, of course, the Italian ingredients are mainly for, let's say, Horeca or for the gourmet and so on, but everyday cuisine, everyday recipe can be made with Italian ingredients. So still we have a big margin for growing. And yeah, I realized and I registered during the pandemic, during these very difficult times, that of course what we lost with the restaurants, we gained with the delivery, home delivery. So there are specific platforms for e-commerce. So the consumers can enter these platforms. I don't say the name in order not to make discrimination, but you can find it also in the UAE and the GCC in general. So with your smartphone, you can order truffle or fresh vegetables even imported by from Italy, or mozzarella, fresh cheese, for example, and so on. And you can get it after a few hours, maximum 24 hours in your home. So what unfortunately we lost from the channel Horeca during pandemic, because most of the restaurants unfortunately were closed. Fortunately, the situation now in Dubai is getting better and better. So respecting the safety, of course, and the anti-COVID measures, you can go to a restaurant, you can enjoy this recipe. On the other side, if you want to taste it, check the receipt and the procedures in our post in the social media, and then try to get these ingredients with your smartphone, get it at home, and why not try for the National Day or during Christmas time to make it at home. It's not so difficult. It's easy, really, and tasty.
Interesting. So the produce and the how do you facilitate the process? Like if I'm an Italian entrepreneur and I want to have my produce available in the UAE on the shelves or in the delivery apps, and I'm thinking, and you will know, of course, them all, but I'm thinking of some of the Italian companies in the UAE do produce, like Monviso and say Lavazza and companies like that. How does the Trade Commissioner work with those parties and facilitate their work?
So talking, let's say, from the B2B side, more than to the consumer. Okay, yeah, we can provide to the Italian companies that requested to enter in the UAE market, the list, for example, of importers or agents or distributors. We organize collective participation of Italian companies, producers, to the most important fair in Dubai and the UAE. Think about Gulf food in Dubai, or think about specialty food again in Dubai, or the seal in Abu Dhabi. And so that's the right place where we can match the demand of an importer that want to be the new importer agent for Italian products. You say coffee or extra virgin olive oil or tomatoes or prepared pasta for pizza and so on and so on. Distributors also, and on the other side, the new products, because listen, Italy has another great advantage compared to other producers in the world. We do have the highest variety of products, because we are a natural bridge, you know, from let's say the Central Europe to the Mediterranean. So we have all the climate more or less. So hills and mountains and sea, of course, and coastline. So really, the 20 regions of Italy, they produce at least each of them, they produce 20 different kind of cuisine. So multiply 20 by 20, minimum you will have 400 kind of cuisine with different ingredients, all produced in Italy. So the fairs, trade fairs, and of course, just send an email to Dubai at ICE, which is Italian Commercio, Istituto Commercio Estero, ICE.it, and we will reply how to get in contact with the Italian producer. Last but not least, every year we do organize, with the cooperation also of the Embassy of Italy, sponsored delegation to the most important events in Italy, including trade fair such as Cibus in Parma or Tutto Food in Milano. So also sponsored delegation going to the most important fairs and food events in Italy, paid by each Italian trade agency together with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in order to connect businesses people.
Yeah, interesting. So there is a lot of activity. Do you think that has some of that come onto the virtual world with online conferences instead of the fairs? And do you expect some of those fairs to run again next year in Italy?
It's a must. It's absolutely a must. As I said, in the UAE already restarted. And up to now, to Italy, it is possible to visit for business and for a certain period of time, of course, by making the test, by respecting social distances, and so on and so on. So we are on the way to be back on physical experience, because especially if we talk about food, really the experience is everything. So connecting people, beauty connects people, food connects people, but we must stay physically connected. So, yeah. Okay, we have this kind of web meetings, but on the way to restart the physical fairs and events, hopefully in the first part also, first half of 2021. Stay connected with us, with the Italian Trade Commission office in Dubai, and we'll keep you posted.
It's great to hear, because obviously, you know, an economy that relies a lot on tourism, which has been heavily impacted. It's really good to hear that the exports that you can do with your cuisine and other produce can continue, and that you're pushing ahead with that. How does Italy view emerging markets, and where does the kind of UAE and Middle East sit in terms of opportunity? Do you think that it's a big opportunity, especially in the food produce space? And what are the complications? Obviously, it's easier to trade across the EU, but what are the kind of pros and cons of the Middle East as an opportunity?
Yeah, there are great opportunities. First of all, because consider that, as you say, the UAE is a melting pot, and is also a hub, a natural hub here between the north of Africa and Africa itself, West Africa, and also the so-called Middle East. I do prefer to call it the Arabian Gulf and GCC. And even in the past, the connection was so straight between the periphery of the Romanian Emperor, or the big Mediterranean, and then this part of the world. By respecting their traditions, I realize that I receive a lot of requests from countries like Saudi Arabia or Oman or Kuwait itself. And in addition to this, also people connects people. What I want to say is that there are so many Asian people and people from the Mediterranean, like Lebanese, Jordanian, Syrian people, Egyptian people, that are working also in the Gulf and in the UAE. And they know very well, because they were born in the same ambient, they know very well, this kind of products and the opportunities. And they are, let me say, traders by nature. So, the Phoenicians, if you're talking about, for example, Lebanese. So they are the best bridges, and they are the natural connecting persons for the Italian food too, in this hub of the world.
Interesting. Yeah, good to see. Okay, so, Amedeo, last question. And I know you can't pick favorites, but we're interested to know, what's your favorite coffee in Dubai, being a connoisseur? And then also, if you were going for a lunch at the weekend, or you know, not too fancy pizza or pasta in Dubai? You can name a few places if you like, but where's your best? Where's your favorite?
Wow. Well, I want to escape from this from this question because, of course, I'm public, so I cannot say this place or this place. But I tell you which is my best kind of coffee. Not which is the best place for coffee, but which is the best coffee. If you can, please don't avoid. Deserve yourself a single short espresso.
Okay.
Italian espresso, wherever it is in the world or in Dubai, but I do prefer single short espresso.
Okay, very good. Well, I might kind of see your reaction when I name a few places. Just to finish. A good friend of mine has Pulcinella, Dominique. He has Pulcinella restaurant,
Okay.
and I know that it's a family type place, and it's Neapolitan restaurant. And then there was also a place in JLT, beginning with a G, which is just such. Every time I go into both of those places, I can feel the Italian community, and it feels really like a part of Italy. And I think that's what some of these places do really well in Dubai, is that they're really authentic places. Of course, the ingredients are exported, but they really feel like have a nice spirit to them, as well as having good food.
Yeah. And if you ever need someone to, let's say, to sing also Italian songs while experiencing an Italian pizza, we do have connections also for this.
Okay.
Because experience is all. Experience is everything.
Okay, good. Well, thank you so much for taking the time during this.
Grazie.
It's really nice to talk to you, and encourage people to try out these Italian restaurants during National Day.
Grazie, my pleasure. Ciao, Richard.